Hey, it's MK, and I am here with Follow a Sketch February, which is put on by Scrapping Reflections, who is State Goddess here on YouTube. Her name is Sandy, in case you guys don't know. And I am following along for some of it, but not all of it. And this one here, I am again using cut files from the Creative Cuts Club, which, like I said, was kind of sort of an exclusive club. It's one of those where the members are maxed out, and once a few members decide, I've got a bunch of cut files saved up, so I'm going to take a break, that's when we can add more members. So I don't really advertise for this cut club because of how exclusive it kind of sort of is, and I apologize about that. All right. Now that that spiel is done and over with, I do have a bunch of random embellishments that are hanging out in my travel bin that I thought I would throw on this page because it kind of sort of goes, and these are the last few pages of this hot air balloon event that is random throughout October and September around our area. So basically, oh, and this is another cut file here as well from the Cut Club. So I'm going to use two of them. And then I'm going to do a pocket page because I have one tiny little spot right here. And then this pocket page can be finished. And then I'm going to do a 12 by 12 layout for the sketch. Now I'm going to do the sketch first. I didn't realize this paper was from the Beached collection, but it was in my travel bin. I had no clue. That's why I was pointing to that. Anyways, I'm going to do the sketch first and treat it as if it's its own video. And then after all of that is done, I will show the pocket page because I know some people aren't into the pocket pages. And so I try to put them at the very end of my videos. That way, nobody has to watch that stuff if they don't want to. All right, I'm going to take two different mixed media mediums. One is this spray. It's a Distress Oxide spray. I only have the oxides, in case you guys didn't know. I don't have the inks. I'm wanting them because they're gorgeous. But that one there was in Weathered Wood. And then I'm going to take this Dylusions paint, which I believe is Lemon Zest. Yes, it is. And go ahead and use my finger to paint the words. You guys, I'm lazy. I don't want to clean tools. I don't want to have a jar of water. I just want to make a mess and get the ink on the word. Plus, this is kind of sort of a delicate word, and I was worried that if I used the paintbrush, then I would have torn it when I can control it a little bit more. Well, I feel like I can with my fingers. So I'm just going to dab it on. And I definitely am trying to go a little dark. So I'm trying to dab a lot on rather than a very light coat because this is kind of like a neon yellow and I wanted it to match my Chamel yellow. And I think that it does kind of sort of, it is a little bit brighter. But it is the best yellow that I have that is in an ink, by the way. So I'm also going to take a paintbrush and go ahead and paint my stars that are on the circle. I didn't want them to just all be one color. I wanted to show how I could make this kind of a two-tone cut file rather than, punch out stars or whatever. I just thought I'd paint them. And I do go over it quite a bit because I want the yellow to be like the bright yellow that is in the title rather than a dull yellow because it's got that gray shining through. So I am going to go over it quite a few times. Now, these photos are of 2020 when we were not allowed to, what's the word? Excuse me. I still have that cough that just won't go away, you guys. I apologize. We weren't allowed to gather for our regular hot air balloon festival. And so basically what was put out on Facebook was that everyone is going to just go ahead and light up their balloons, get them up in the air from where they live. And it was so cool seeing all the people that are where I live. and I just know that they're right around the corner, and all these balloons start popping up. And where the title comes in play, Worth the Wait, is I'm not sure if you guys are all familiar on how long it takes to actually heat up an air balloon or fill it up with the hot air. It takes forever. So everything on Facebook said, hey, look in your skies, at said time. And, even though that's when they started, the balloons didn't pop up until almost 2 hours later. So it is pretty cool to just watch these balloons randomly pop up throughout the neighborhood. These ones here are on the other side of the lake. And then in the pocket, they are like 2 doors down. It was so super cool. I was looking at the lake and watching these, there's actually 4 balloons total. I was watching these balloons pop up, and I only have 2 pictured here, but the other ones are in another layout, by the way. Anyways, squirrel. My kids were, they get bored. They can't just sit there and stare and wait. And so they said, Mom, look over there. And that's the bottom photo there. That's my neighbors. And there was another balloon popping up over there. It was actually 2 of them popping up. And it's like, oh my gosh, we've got friends that own balloons. These are so cool. Or neighbors, I should say. I can't really say that they're friends, because our neighborhoods and our lots, I should say, are very far away. So we've got acres in between us. And so it's kind of one of those things where sometimes a house is right next door, and sometimes a house is, 2 to 3 acres over to the next house. And so it's, I could never tell how far away those balloons really were. But in the Pocket page, you can see that a balloon lands in our backyard. Ha ha ha. And so the kids wanted to make sure that I documented that one. So anyways, what I'm doing now is I went and I took my circle with stars and I cut it apart so I could use it in a few different places. I also have, like I said, I flipped the sketch so that way it is running up and down rather than across. And when I use sketches, I pick out the elements that I want to use. I'm a rule breaker, you guys. I'm a follower and I'm a breaker. Oh my gosh, I'm an oxymoron waiting to happen. But basically, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's a true word, you guys. I'm not trying to use it as a bad word, or a discriminating word. It's one of those where I follow the rules, but when it comes to sketches, I only pick out the pieces that caught my attention, I should say. I don't want to say excite me, because, I love using sketches because they take the guesswork out, but I don't follow sketches in their entirety. Like I left out the 2, so it looks like there's 3 pattern papers at the end or on the background. I left those 2 out and I just used 1, but all of the scattered elements are what drew my attention to this sketch. It's kind of like one of those postcards that looks like it's got lots and lots of elements just thrown on, and then they took a picture of it and called it a postcard. It's really cool. If you guys get what I'm saying. All right, almost done with this layout. I'm just adding a few little elements. The stars from the Chamel pack. The little balloons are from Creative Memories, and that is it. That is how I decorated it. Those other pieces that kind of look like the journaling and the ticket, those are from cut-aparts from a paper pack, you guys. I honestly don't remember what it is from. I used my decorative scissors to cut the one of the edges to make it look like it was a postage. And that's it. That is how I decorated this sketch. If you guys are interested, be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along. It's over on the Facebook, so there won't be a group in my description below. It's over on the Facebook. All right, so here is the pocket that I'm talking about. There's the balloon that landed in our backyard. Yay. Anyways, I have one little blank pocket, and I'm going to take the rest of my circle and go ahead and decide if I wanted it in my pocket or on the outside of my pocket. I decided I wanted it on my outside of my pocket so that way I could have a larger cluster to work with rather than just a 3x4 card. Also, too, I've had a lot of comments on, well, how do you get back into the pocket once you glue things on the outside? I don't intend to get back into the pockets. I do try to do my journaling before I glue things on the outside, but for some videos, I want to show start to finish, and so I will temporarily adhere it to the outside for the video, and then I'll pop back in and do my journaling. That way you guys can see, get the idea of what it's supposed to look like with the elements glued to the outside. All right. But yes, I truly don't ever intend to go back into these pockets. That just doesn't make sense to me. So anyways, I accidentally dropped my cut file, and I just wanted to show you guys how easy it was. While the glue is wet, you can most certainly take a rag and wipe it all up. Seriously. This little piece right here is just going to be super simple. That's all I did. Added a few more circular elements that I picked out from the 49 and Market die cut pack, which is from Anywhere, the Anywhere collection. And then I went into my stash and pulled out this cut file. I know, as if I don't have enough cut files to use. But excuse me, the Worth the Wait is going to go on the outside of my cut file. I already knew it was going to fill in all that blank space. Plus, I really wanted, I love how the balloons pop around that bright title. It makes your eye see all those balloons a lot more than if they were just in the pocket by themselves. You kind of had to hunt for them because they kind of blend in with the background, right? So when I put the title on, I thought, oh my gosh, it's missing something. What is it missing? It's missing clouds, because the other page next to it had a hot air balloon with a little bit of clouds around it, right? So I thought, oh, this kind of sort of matches. Let's see what I can do. But I knew I wasn't going to use the entire cut file of clouds. So I cut off these 4 clouds, thinking I was going to just use it right in the center and put my title on top of these clouds. And then I thought, oh, I don't like it. Because then you can't really read the word, because it's such a delicate cut file, the title is. So again, I cut up the clouds a little bit more. That way I could use them throughout the whole page. So now I'm just decorating it as if it was one whole layout, you guys. I'm not even worried about, on the outside of my pocket, nothing, you guys. It's my layout. And that's how I'm treating it, as if they were all one thing, and just gluing it all on the outside. So I do have a bunch of blank spaces where I cut the clouds apart. So I had to strategically place some elements around, so that way I can cover up those cut pieces of the clouds, right? I'm going to go ahead and put 2 clouds on both sides of my title, so that way it's kind of what I envisioned it, but not to the extent of how I was seeing it, because like I said, the cut file was just way too delicate to have all those clouds behind it. You wouldn't have been able to read it, is what I'm trying to say. But I do like how some of the clouds are touching it. I love how now all the title brings out all of these hot air balloons, you guys. I can see where the W is pointing up. It's like, hey, look, there's a hot air balloon right there. And then the H is kind of pointing there. There's one there too. And then down by the T, hey, look, there's one too. It's kind of like you can see them now because the title is taking away from the background, I guess I should say. All right, I decided to create a little cluster because this cloud needed major help, considering that it was going to be off the page to begin with. I went ahead and I put it around one of the holes in the page protector, so that way it's going to go around the what's it called? The clip for my binder in the album. And then of course I added a little heart and a flower because why not? It was on my thing and I thought that little cloud was lonely. So I went ahead and I did that as well. And that's my pocket pages, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoy how I create pocket pages. But I don't do this to every single pocket page that has all of these photos. Normally, when I have a pocket page that is completely full of photos, I will take and just back them all with a pattern paper or a cardstock front and back, and I'm good, you guys. I seriously do not do this with every single pocket page. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will check y'all later. Thank you. Bye.